You know, a dream is like a river, ever changing as it flows. And a dreamer's just a vessel that must follow where it goes, trying to learn from what's behind you and never knowing what's in store makes each day a constant battle just to stay between the shores.
This is Greenhaven in the mid-70s, which was started by my father and his partner. It was called Lincoln and Parker, and it was in the early 50s they purchased this property, and believe it or not, it was $500 an acre. In those days, Sacramento had hundreds of custom builders that would build either 1 to 10 houses a year. So all of these lots were sold individually, one at a time. So that began the desire to not only have a master plan and have an amenity that drew people to the community, but also controls to keep it, as good as it can. In high school and college, we built this lake. We look forward for summers because we look forward to being involved in this lake. And it received an award in the 60s for the best planned community in America. I actually didn't go to school very much. I constantly came to the development, and finally, in the early 70s, I started selling lots. My father passes away in 1976, and there we are. We have this note from the bankrupt company, and we have sold off the last third of Greenhaven to Morrison Homes. And at that time, 2 people that are very important. One I'd already met, Tom Baker, with Morrison Homes. The other one helps me with my father's estate, and his name is Dave Spottiswoode. But we ended up with this ground back, and all of a sudden we were back in business, and then Morrison Homes said, hey, would you joint venture this with us? So that allowed us to finish Greenhaven. We actually bought more down here and expanded it. River Lake was our breakout project, and it started in 1984. Lots of things happened. My brother Jim came up, John got out of college and he came up. I also got married, and it was a wonderful partnership. We did well, it was a great market, it was a great project. But the key is we learned here about this connectivity with parks, creating value with some amenity, and the associations get more sophisticated, which is everything in our business. After River Lake, we formed a partnership with Tykard Land Company, and we started to do the Parkway.
My relationship with the Parker family goes back to the late 60s, when my parents bought a lot on Lake Greenhaven and then built a house. There's a commitment to quality and doing things right, and it's not just high-end quality. If you go look at the Parkway, that's kind of a middle-income project, and it's been very, very successful with the same kind of techniques that we've had that Bill's utilized in other projects where it's all just been custom homes. That's a full production project there.
At the same time we did that, we wanted to do another high-end development, and the Serrano property came available. And so in 1990, we bought 3,500 acres, which is known as Serrano, and we're still working on it. It's 30 years later, and we're actually just finishing it right now. The centerpiece of Serrano, instead of a lake like some of the other projects, or a park, is a golf course. It's called Serrano Country Club. It's a very successful facility in the Sacramento region.
Overall, I think this community has become the premier community in Northern California, not only being recognized nationally but also locally, and it really has to do with Bill's vision and his consistency of quality and having first-class operation and a first-class project.
So what's the future? The future is we're working on 2,300 acres about a mile to the east of Serrano. We've been 15 years working on entitlements on that project. We're in El Dorado County. We have a foundation called the Parker Family Foundation. We formed it about 15 years ago. And we specialize mostly in causes that have something to do with children and helping children.
I think philanthropy is important to Parker because creating a community really just begins with the physical aspects that we construct. Really, creating community means building the connections between the people that live here and the variety of other organizations that are serving the needs here locally.
I met my wife Sue in the late 70s, and we were married in '84. At the same time, we started the River Lake project. The project was great, the marriage was great. It was my happiest time. In our family, there are 2 children, Jennifer and Lauren, both girls, and then we have 4 grandchildren, 2 boys and 2 girls. The entire family is involved in all kinds of recreational things. We have some boats. My younger brother John, real into fishing, and brother Jim, he is involved in everything we do. In fact, it's kind of a joke around the company. I, in an hour on a napkin, make a deal with somebody, and then he spends weeks doing all the detail. And so on hindsight, what we do is we find a property that has problems, we solve it, the solution being an amenity that creates value, then we add CC&R's control, and we develop it, and I think that's what our business is, come to think about it. The company being 50 years old, I drive through actually from time to time and say, we should have more money. And then I think to myself, maybe we're lucky we have any money at all.
It is my privilege to introduce Bill Parker.
Thank you, Joan. It is an incredible honor to be included in this Home Building Hall of Fame and to receive this recognition. I eagerly accept it on behalf of my entire team. To be included in this group of distinguished honorees, past and present, makes it even more special. Congratulations to the other honorees. I'm proud to be among you. I want to thank the North State BIA Board who nominated me, particularly Rachel Bardis and Executive Director Michael Stretch. My sponsors, 7 of which are past honorees, and Terry Brunson, Aaron Townsend, and Lisa Parrish, who helped make today possible. I want to thank my brothers. Jim is my business partner and my oldest friend. We have worked shoulder to shoulder our entire lives. His extensive financial and business background is an enormous asset to our company. This recognition would not be possible without Jim's guidance and support. My younger brother John always took on the most difficult and messy construction jobs. He has been instrumental to our success. My wife Susan, with whom I share everything, including the inevitable crises associated with the development business. With her support, without her support, we would not be successful. I want to thank my daughters, Jeannie and Lauren, for their contribution and support, and my 4 grandchildren. There are 2 other people that are so important, I'm sure we would not be here without them. Dave Spottiswood, my lawyer and friend for over 40 years, has been critical in the formation of our partnerships, the structure of governance documents, and the contracts associated with sale of product. It was his influence that resulted in our reputation as straight shooters. Tom Baker, past president of Morrison Homes and Notomus Real Estate, who later developed Gold River, for his almost daily mentoring in the early years and his negotiation skills and continued friendship. My team members share this recognition with me. We have been together for 20, 30, and even 40 years. They do the day-to-day screening. Tom Howard, our VP of Construction, Kirk Bone, our Government Relations Representative, and Andrea Howard, our Principal Planner, are instrumental in both the Parkway and Serrano. They make it all happen with the coordination and invaluable support from my assistant, Florence Tanner, and Special Projects Coordinator, Eric Zatz, who each have been with the company for over 40 years. Our CFO, Clark Wynn, Controller Patty Peck, our assistant accounting staff, Lisa, Ellen, Chris, Mike, Gay, Jim's assistant, Diane Costa, and Dan McAuliffe. And Frank Fangman, our property manager. Jenny, in marketing and sponsorships, all these people provide vital support. The project would not be the same without the following critical people. Architect Bob Farrar, instrumental in design and execution of master architecture. Bill Dentino and Mike Cook, invaluable attorneys that contribute to our partnership negotiations and land planning. Roger Hanshin, Vice President of Residential Construction. Architect Donald Fagina and interior designer Linda Kleeman. Also, Townley Lazalier and Jill Shannon, instrumental in market positioning and promotion of our communities. I also want to thank Catellis for a great 20-year relationship, particularly Tim Unger and Tom Marshall, who were there from the beginning. It is a privilege to create and build communities. I love meeting people who share their fond memories of growing up in one of our neighborhoods. I am very honored to play a role in the industry. Thank you so much for this honor.